Welcome to the second lesson. In the previous lesson, we created a robot that automatically logs into a web page. Although this app can meet basic requirements, it only mechanically runs the preset flow. In real-world scenarios, however, the situations you encounter may be more complex and full of uncertainty. If we want the robot to be more intelligent and better aligned with our actual needs, we must give it the ability to handle complex situations. Beyond the logic of step by step in the planned order run, there are two common run logic patterns that can help the robot handle changeable scenarios: conditions and loops. In this lesson, we will study them one by one. Imagine this. If when you run the auto login bot, you enter an incorrect username or password, what will happen? Let's run it. The app seems to have finished, but the web page actually hasn't logged in successfully. The result clearly does not meet expectations because we didn't set up the bot in advance to handle the login failed case, so it naturally can't take the appropriate action. Next, we need to enable the bot to adapt to different scenarios, enabling it to autonomously make decisions like if a certain situation occurs, then run the corresponding action. In Automa, we realize this decision-making process through commands in the conditionals set. You can see that this command set contains many if prefixed command, which are enough to let the bot flexibly handle various conditional scenarios. No rush to introduce specific command. Let's first look at three common branching logic patterns. For the situation just described, I need the robot to make a decision. If the login fails, print this result. Otherwise, continue to run. This, if a condition is met, do something. Otherwise, do nothing. Structure is the single branch decision. Its core lies in running a targeted action for special cases. In Automa, the syntax for single branch is if ends. Here, if is the start marker of the decision, and if ends is the end marker. Together, if and if ends form the boundary of the decision scope. Commands placed inside are run only when the condition is satisfied. Commands placed outside do not participate in the condition check and run normally. Next, let's implement this decision logic together. First, we need to carefully observe the characteristics of the failure page. When the login operation fails, a dialog pops up on the page showing invalid username or password. In a successful login state, this dialog does not appear. This characteristic can serve as the conditional basis for building our decision logic. In Automa, if web page contains can determine whether a specific element is present on the web page. We drag this command onto the canvas. At this point, web page object will be automatically selected, and the condition is set to contains element by default. Next, we need to capture the error dialog and name it Playground Login Error Notice. After completing these settings, click Done. Add a print inside it and enter login failed. Reason: incorrect account or password. According to the current logic, if the failure condition is met, the system will run this print statement and continue to run downward, but since there are no other command afterward, it will end normally. If the failure condition is not met, that is, login is successful. The system should skip these commands and keep running downward, which also ends normally. Now, let's run it end-to-end to see the results. First, enter a set of incorrect account credentials to test. You can see that after the app detects the error message, it successfully prints the message we configured. Next, enter a set of correct account credentials. The page logs in successfully, and the program also smoothly finishes the run. This is a very simple single branch structure. Of course, Automa also supports logical evaluation of data. Numbers are often compared. For example, determining whether 5 is greater than 3. As mentioned earlier, when using the number type, you need to turn on expression mode. Here, turn on the icons for both input boxes. Next, enter 5 in the first input box, find greater than in the operator list, and enter 3 in the second input box. Inside the if, Add a print and input condition met. If the condition is met, print this sentence. If not, skip. We know it will definitely be met, so after you run, this sentence will be printed. When working with string, we more often perform equality or contains checks. First, create a string variable with welcome to Automa and name it text A. Duplicate a command. This time enter Automa and name it text B. Finally, let's check whether these two variables have a contains relationship. Copy the above flow, set the operand to text A and text B respectively, select contains as the comparison method, and click Done. Adjust the print content to text A contains text B. After running, this sentence is printed as expected. In addition, if also supports other comparison methods. For example, checking true or false, whether it is an empty value, and whether it starts with or ends with a certain item, etc. Choose the appropriate comparison method according to your actual needs. Now, I want the system to print a message after a successful login too. That is, show success when the login succeeds and failure when the login fails. Obviously, login success and login failure are two completely mutually exclusive situations. This, when the condition holds, run A, otherwise, run B structure is exactly a dual branch judgment. In Automa, the syntax for dual branch is to add an else on top of the original single branch syntax. This else further splits the original if and if-then structure into two. The if block contains the commands to run when the condition is met. The else block contains the commands to run when the condition is not met. The logic of run is, if the condition is satisfied, run the operations above. If it is not satisfied, run the operations below. Continue refining the login flow. The requirement is, if login succeeds, print login succeeded. Welcome back. Following the dual branch structure, we directly drag an else into the original if structure and print login succeeded, welcome back, inside the else. Now the logic becomes, when login fails, print the sentence above. When login succeeds, print the sentence below. Test the correct behavior directly. Enter the correct username and password. The page logs in normally. At the same time, the login success message is also printed. Previously, we introduced approaches for handling a specific situation and two mutually exclusive situations. What if you run into many different situations? In that case, you need to use multi-branch. Its run logic is evaluate in order, and when a condition is met, run the corresponding operation and then exit. In Automa, the syntax for multi-branch is if, else, if ends, where else if can appear multiple times to evaluate other branches. Else is used to handle cases where none of the conditions are met, and it can also be omitted. Starting from the first if, check each condition in sequence. Once a condition is satisfied, run the command under that branch right away, then skip all remaining branches and end the entire decision flow directly. Only when all if and else if conditions are not met will it run the else. Imagine that after shopping at the mall, you head to the checkout counter and the cashier will calculate different discounts based on your membership level. Let's see how this decision process works in Automa. The requirement is 4 user types: Gold member, Silver member, Ordinary member, and Non-member. Gold members enjoy a 15% discount. Silver members enjoy a 10% discount. Ordinary members enjoy a 5% discount. Non-members don't get any discount and have to settle up according to the actual spending amount. In this process, the user type is uncertain data, and we can pass it as an input item to the app. Earlier, we used display custom dialog to make the app pop up a dialog when it runs, letting you input and pass data. In the same way, here we can first use the dialog to receive the user type information, then evaluate the type we've received. So let's configure this dialog first by double-clicking Display Custom Dialog. There are 4 user types and they're fixed answers. For data like this, it's recommended to use dropdown. It lets you set the 4 answers as 4 single-choice options. For convenience, we'll set both the variable name and the title to type. The drop-down options are the 4 user types, and the options need to be separated by newline characters. After setting, the specific user type selected will be saved in type, and this type is stored in the dialog_result variable output by this command. Let's print it to see how it shows up. Expand dialog_result, and you can actually see here that type is a string. Run it, and choose the user type non-member. When it finishes running, what gets printed is the text content of this option. Next, we can directly evaluate this text. Click If. First, check if it equals gold card in order. Click FX to find type. Keep the comparison method as equal to. Manually enter gold card, then click Done. Inside the branch, use print to output you are a valued gold member. Enjoy 15% off. If this condition isn't met, keep checking. To evaluate other branches, you'll need to use an else if. This time, check if it equals silver card and print you are a valued silver member. Enjoy 10% off inside. Repeat the above steps to check ordinary card. And print you are a valued member. Enjoy 5% off. If none of the above 3 cases are met, then it must be a non-member. So we can handle the non-member branch directly with an else and print you are not a member yet. Your purchase will be charged at the regular price. Now the flow is all set up. The complete decision path is first check if it's a gold card member, offer a 15% discount and exit. If not, check if it's a silver card member, offer a 10% discount and exit. If still not, keep checking if it's an ordinary card member, offer a 5% discount and exit. Finally, if none of the above apply, charge based on the actual purchase amount. Following this logic, suppose ordinary card is selected. The program should print you are a valued member. Enjoy 5% off, and then end the run. When you actually run it to check the result, it prints correctly. Additionally, here's a small tip. If this command runs normally, a command log will be generated on the right side of this command line after it runs. Hover over this icon to see a popover that shows the input and output data for this command. For example, for this else if, you can see that the type in the inputs is directly converted to ordinary card, and the evaluation result in the output is true, meaning the flow correctly entered this branch and printed when it ran. That concludes the practical demo of multi-branch. It checks conditions in sequence. When a condition is met, it runs the corresponding operation and exits. If not, it keeps evaluating, making the whole process clear and efficient. However, real-world situations are usually more complex, and using just a single layer of conditionals might not meet the requirements. In practice, logic is more often layered and nested. Some conditions can only be evaluated after other conditions are met. Inside one conditional branch, there might be another complete conditional structure. This kind of structure is called nested conditionals. Now let's add a new requirement. If a gold card member's actual spending this time exceeds $100, they can also enter a lottery. That is, on top of a gold card member getting a 15% discount, if the amount goes over $100, they can join the lottery. If it doesn't go over $100, no extra action is needed. This meet the condition, then run a specific operation. Otherwise, don't do anything extra logic is a typical single branch decision, and this single branch decision also needs to go inside the gold card member structure. With the requirements clarified, let's start building right away. Reuse the flow we built earlier and first add an input for the spending amount in the dialog. Double-click to open Display Custom Dialog. There are 2 input components, text and number. Here, select number, set both the variable name and the title to original. And we'll still get it from the dialog_result variable. The number component outputs a number type, so you can use it directly to compare values. Inside the gold card branch, add an if, find original, Pick greater than or equal to as the comparison method. For operand 2, first turn on expression mode, then type in 100. If the condition is met, print congrats. You've got one lucky draw. Now let's test both scenarios. First, test the scenario where Gold Card member criteria are met, but the spending amount doesn't exceed $100. At this point, only the 15% discount for meeting the Gold Card condition is printed, no issues there. Then, test the scenario where Gold Card member criteria are met and the spending amount exceeds $100. This qualifies for both the 15% discount and the lucky draw, so 2 messages should be printed and the run still checks out. Next, the requirement's been upgraded, and we need to calculate the discounted price directly and print it out. The calculation logic is to subtract the discount amount at the corresponding rate from the original price. For example, the discounted price for a gold member equals original price minus original price times 15%. Create a new variable to store the discounted price. Set the type to float and name it discounted. This time, we won't assign a value when creating it. Instead, inside each conditional branch, we'll reassign a value to the already created discounted, with the content being the final price calculated using different discounts. This process of setting a value for an existing variable is also implemented using setVariable. Let's start with the Gold member branch. Add setVariable, and once you select the float type, it'll automatically switch to expression mode. Dialog result dot original minus dialog result dot original times 0.15. This computed result needs to be assigned to discounted. You can enter it directly or select it straight from the variable. Adjust the print content to "You are a valued gold member - enjoy 15% off." After the discount, the total amount is discounted. Copy setVariable and adjust the other branches the same way. Finally, let's test each of the branch scenarios one by one. First, test the gold member. Set the initial amount to $60 and the calculated price is $51. Then test the silver member, ordinary member, and non-member with the same price, and it prints $54, $57, and $60 respectively. Let's recap the complete logic of the entire case. First, we do a multi-branch check on user types, covering 4 scenarios: Gold Card, Silver Card, Ordinary Card, and Non-Member. Next, inside the Gold Card branch, we nest a single branch check to verify if the actual spending amount meets the requirement. Finally, we calculate the discounted price for different membership levels using math formulas. The whole process uses single branch, multi-branch, nested conditionals, and number calculations. And by now you should have a clear idea of how to apply decision logic to real-world implementation. Besides the command types we mentioned earlier, the conditionals set also includes other kinds of conditionals. Interested friends can try them out one by one. Finally, let's wrap it up. Conditionals include 3 branch structures: single branch, dual branch, and multi-branch. You can nest another complete conditional structure inside a conditional structure. And the main goal of conditionals is to let our robot make intelligent decisions in specific situations.